The story comes from WJHL.com. A Bristol, Virginia police officer who's been charged with murder is out on bond, according to court records. A grand jury on Monday indicted Officer Jonathan Brown on charges of murder, use of a firearm in the commission of a murder, and malicious shooting into an occupied vehicle.
Another top story at 5, a Bristol, Virginia police officer is facing several charges tonight, including murder.
A grand jury indicted Officer Jonathan Brown following a shooting March 30th. Virginia State Police previously reported that 31-year-old Jonathan Kohler of Bristol, Tennessee was fatally shot after he refused to get out of his vehicle, then drove toward an officer now identified as Brown. A news release from the city of Bristol, Virginia today says an internal affairs investigation into the incident is underway.
Court records show that Brown's attorney signed off on a $25,000 bond agreement after a warrant was issued for his arrest. Dana Schrod, the executive director for the Virginia Chiefs of Police Association, said, quote, he doesn't have a violent criminal record of any sort, and he did turn himself in. So there are a lot of factors to take into consideration. Bond is set to ensure that someone returns to court. It's not in and of itself a punishment, so I think the special prosecutor here must feel very certain that he will appear in court when this day comes. The Bristol Sheriff's Office confirmed that Brown turned himself in Tuesday and immediately bonded out of jail without having to submit a mugshot. Interesting. Megan Ryan, the executive director for the Virginia Coalition for Open Government, said it is being withheld under an exemption in FOIA, and all the exemptions in FOIA, for the most part, are discretionary. So when a law enforcement agency is not releasing body camera footage because of an ongoing investigation, they're making a choice not to release it. I'm not saying it's the wrong choice, but it's the choice. There's no prohibition about releasing the footage. News Channel 11 submitted a Freedom of Information Act request for body camera footage, but it was denied by the Virginia State Police.
Sarah and Josh, Bristol, Virginia police officer Jonathan Brown has been indicted on 3 counts: murder, use of a firearm in the commission of murder, and malicious shooting into an occupied vehicle. Now, according to Virginia State Police, a grand jury handed up those indictments on Monday. Brown, who lives in Piney Flats, turned himself in to state police special agents today. Now, these charges stem from the shooting death of Jonathan B. Kohler, which happened near a motel at the intersection of Euclid Avenue and Gate City Highway on March 30th of this year. Now, according to city officials, as protocol, shortly after the shooting, Officer Brown had been suspended with pay, but as of today, he has been suspended without pay until after the investigation is complete. Now, City of Bristol, Virginia, City Manager and Attorney Randy Eads, along with Mayor Bill Hartley, released a statement saying, in part, we do not condone nor will we tolerate the unnecessary use of force by our police officers. There is a time and place for the use of force, and force must be used sparingly and within the bounds of the law, end quote. An internal affairs investigation is underway and is expected to be completed within 10 days.
The case against Brown is being handled by the Commonwealth's attorney in Roanoke after local prosecutors recused themselves to avoid a conflict. Schrod said in 2018 nationally there were 61.5 million police public contacts. In 2018 there were 10 officers convicted of either murder or manslaughter. Even though every case is important, every loss of life is critically important. The number of cases in which an officer is found guilty of using excessive force and is actually charged and convicted of murder is very rare. I cannot think of a case in Virginia where a law enforcement officer was convicted of murder, but we'd have to check the databases on that. Obviously, it's a very rare occurrence. We do not have that kind of history in Virginia with our law enforcement community. News Channel 11 reached out to Brown's attorney and Don Caldwell, the Commonwealth attorney handling the case, for comment and have not yet received a response. Well, good luck. So here's another one where a cop is indicted on a murder charge. But I love how they're, and I'm not saying the cop is bad. But how they say, well, he doesn't have any violent criminal record history and he turned himself in, so that makes him a good guy. I don't know. Does he have any police complaints, though. She said he doesn't have a criminal record or any violent criminal history, but does he have a complaint record on file? That's what I want to know. I mean, I don't think Derek Chauvin, although he had tons of complaints, I don't think he had any criminal history. But he obviously was convicted of murder for killing George Floyd. I don't know, and I'm not trying to judge this officer. It's just they indicted him on murder, and he's a police officer, so obviously there's something there that they saw that he, got indicted for. And it's just, you watch these videos of law enforcement across the nation. Law enforcement's out of control right now. Slapping cameras out of people's hand. Are you kidding me? On camera, the police officer slaps the camera out of Tom Zebra's hand. That's battery. On camera. In uniform. With a badge. And 2 stripes. Inglewood PD. That's crazy, man. I mean, these cops don't care anymore. These cops are like, you know what? We're just going to take it to the streets. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers, to include those in Virginia that get indicted, and from coast to coast.